Um, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I want to show you guys a few things that are new. So I added an announcement. I don't know if you guys have read it yet, but so I added 2 different sections on the home page because I saw that useful sites was getting a little bit cluttered because it has your projects links and then stuff that I've been adding, and so I made separate places for the things that I add. You guys are not going to want to add anything to SI resources, the files or the sites, because that's for me to add resources for you. But you can look at any of them anytime you want, but don't add anything there, you know? I just wanted to keep it a little bit more organized. That way it doesn't look so cluttered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me good?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I couldn't hear you guys. But yeah, so I added that, and I've already added a file, and that's the questions I'm about to go over with you. Have you guys had a chance to look at the lectures yet?
I've watched one, but I've only watched the first one so far.
Okay. Well, then, since you guys haven't watched it yet, we won't go over these questions, but just know that the questions I have on my screen right now, can you see that?
Yes.
Those are under files for SI resources.
Okay.
So if you want to
see that, where are you showing this?
Hold on. Let me go back to that. Right here. Okay, so on your home page underneath forms, you'll see SI resources, and it'll have sites in parentheses. And then below that, it'll say SI resources, and then it'll have files. There's a file there that's a Word document.
Yeah, I see that on my own screen, but I don't see your screen.
Oh, you don't see mine?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me try that again.
I just have the blank launching Zoom screen.
Did you click open?
Yeah, it just has launching, and then I had you up there with the name, and then it disappeared.
Oh, goodness. That happened to the last person, but I don't really know what went wrong. What does your screen say?
It has the please click open Zoom meetings if you see the system dialog.
Does it say open Zoom meetings?
That extra
that you can click
already
on?
clicked on that. Already clicked on it to connect. It connected, but it doesn't show me video. It shows me, I mean, I just hear the audio.
Okay, are there any other buttons on the page that you can click on?
Just download and run Zoom if nothing prompts from browser.
I have that. Let me see. Wait. I can find. No, I don't have it anymore. Okay, I don't know. Well, worst case scenario, you just, if you have questions, you can ask me at the end or whenever it comes up, because you don't necessarily need to see it right now because I'm going to upload the video probably tomorrow, so it'll be up. This whole Zoom session will be up there, so it'll be okay. Just keep in mind any questions that you have. And if you have anything you'd like to go ahead and ask right off to start with, that's fine. You can go ahead.
Well, so this is in week 5, or the lectures, and we had. So she had the attendance form up at week 4, and I did that one, but now it's closed, and there's a new one up for week 5. Is that right? So we have to do another one.
If it says so, then yeah. I don't remember if there was one for this week, but there probably was. So if it says there's an attendance form, then do it.
Week 5's attendance has to do with both the lectures, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah.
Like you watch their lectures and then say 3 things I think that you've learned from those.
Okay. Wow, these are important. Okay.
But the questions that I added, the Word document I added under files, that's just something I thought would be helpful to you because it'll help you, you know, really think about what you're learning about in the lectures this week. And it can also serve as somewhat of a study guide. It's not going to be, the questions up here may not be exactly what you might find on a quiz, but it'll definitely help you study for it. So if you ever wanted to come back to that and answer those questions and then study it, or you know, that is definitely a good idea. And that's why I put it up here, just so that you can look at it anytime you want. And just keep those words that you've been learning and that you're going to be using in mind. So I wanted you guys to have that to look
Thank
at.
you.
I moved the Weebly tutorials and the example Weebly up to the sites that I use for SI resources. So that'll be there. But so since you can't see it, it's just on the home page on the left side where useful sites would be. So that's where you'll find the things I've been talking about.
Yeah, I see it on mine.
And then in the message board, I've added some messages. I don't know if you guys have read it yet, but just keep in mind that everything I put up there, and not to call you guys out or anything, because that's not what I'm trying to do. It's just that everything I put up there is to help you guys. And I can't tell you to read it, and I can't force you to, but I can advise you to, because I strongly advise you to read everything I put up there and try to read it carefully, you know, because I know we all get busy and we have lots of stuff to do, and sometimes it's hard to really set aside time to really concentrate on things. But, you know, whenever I put something up there, try to do that, you know?
Yes.
Because if you miss something, you might miss something that's helpful to you. So, like, one of the announcements was about grammar. And the reason I posted that is because when I'm showing you how to use this, not only is it important for you to understand how to use the technology, it's important for you to, for everything that you put up there to look professional. Because say that you were trying to get a better job in the future. You're a really good teacher, and you were being offered a higher position, and you wanted to use the technology you've been using as part of your resume or something that you use to show that you are a really, really good teacher or something. You know, you might want to use these things to show them that you are the best candidate. You know what I mean? And so if it doesn't look professional, if your grammar is not correct or spelling, if those things don't look appropriate, then they might not consider you to be the most qualified, you know? It really does affect how people look at you and look at the work that you're doing. And Dr. Stone will just comment about it later, so I figured, you know, let's address it now. That way we can solve the problem and it'll be smooth sailing. You know what I mean? So I just put that stuff up there to help you guys, because you know, it's easier to solve it now than for all of it to pile up at the end, and then you have to go through and make all of these changes then. So yeah, just keep all that in mind. Just make sure you try to read everything that I post up there. And Camilla, I saw what you asked me about the buttons.
Yes, I cannot get them to go in a line. There's two on one side and there's one, because you know the boxes are long and narrow, like the spacers, and I don't know how to size them down like you would a text box in Word.
I'll have to play with that. I'm going to be putting another video about Weebly, about the changes that you need to be adding to it, because you're going to have to put the words that I'm going to tell you about over your background, and then add the other tabs, like social media and learning, and then whatever other tabs we have. I'm going to have to do a video showing you how to do that within the next couple days. And in that video, I will address that, because I'm going to have to go through and mess with that to see what it is you're talking about that you're having a problem with. But when I make that video, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. Because you have on yours, you have the picture, the way you have it split up, you have like half where you have the words and then your picture for both of you. And I don't know how you did that, because I can't get my picture smaller and I can't get it to get, it was, you know, all horizontal. I can't get anything vertical.
Okay, so are you talking about the pictures right now or the buttons?
Well, all of it. I mean, it's all
Okay.
in how you move it around and get it to go.
Okay. I will play with that and see what it is that you're having trouble with, and see if I can help you fix that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Lauren, do you have any questions about Weebly or?
I'm just playing around with it, kind of like you're saying, and
Yeah.
so far I'm not having any problems. I have to get like a professional type picture of myself. I've gone through all my photos and I don't really have anything that will fit, so working on
I
that.
don't either. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm getting the hang of the other things, the buttons and whatnot.
Camilla, remember to add your contact info, so like your school email, add that somewhere.
What are the what is the top menu supposed to say? Is it specific?
The top tab.
Right. We have to have the same ones that you have on yours.
For now, that's what I'm thinking, but I'm gonna go over that in the video that I make
Okay.
regarding all of that. That way I can just go ahead and knock all of that out at one time for you guys, because it'll be easier than to make several different ones than, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna knock all of that out whenever I make that video. So we are a little bit behind on the social media part of it, and because of the hurricane, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to catch you guys up on that so that it doesn't build up on you and you get overwhelmed.
So where does the contact information go then? Is that where
It goes on the first page with your little introduction. And for yours, Camilla, I'm looking at yours right now. I would just have your name up there in the title. You don't necessarily have to put meet the teacher. You can just put your name or something like that.
Okay.
And then just remember to add your contact info. And make sure your grammar is correct. I haven't read all the way through yours yet, so I don't know if it is or not, but just remember to check through that. Always check it. One thing one of my teachers told me about checking grammar and spelling is you can, because our eyes are so used to reading things quickly, read it backwards, because then it forces you to look at each and every word, or read it out loud, because then you'll catch yourself whenever you've made a mistake. You know what I mean? So those are some little tricks that you can use to make sure that your words are spelled correctly or your grammar is right. Just either read it out loud or read it backwards, because then it forces you to slow down. But yeah, that goes for everybody though. It's helpful for anybody. Let's see. That's Annie's. She's not here. Lauren, I would just put your name up there.
Yeah, I just changed.
And then whenever you get time to whenever you get your photo, put the name on the side and your contact info. And then the rest of what you need to do for Weebly for now, I will be adding in later. And Camilla, your background picture looks fine, but once you add in your text, I'm not sure if your text will show up good with that one, because unless you change the color of it, then it might. I'm not sure, but you may end up having to change it, but I'm not sure as of now. We'll just see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, then we'll fix it. You know what I mean?
I actually changed it from I had a darker one that I had, and I was like, oh, I need to go change that to something lighter. I wish that I could adjust it and move it down so I'd have more white above where the kids, that they would be lower, kind of have them, they're halfway, but I didn't seem to work.
Yeah. And one thing that you need to know is that whenever you go through and make all your tabs, you're going to have a background on each of those. It'll be the same as the first page. So you don't need multiple different backgrounds. Just keep the same one all the way through.
Same picture?
Yeah, the same background on your Weebly. You'll use it for every tab. Let's see. So we've looked at Shutterfly. We've looked at your pages.
What is I don't understand the Pinterest. We have a Twitter, but I don't get Pinterest at all.
Pinterest. I actually don't even have a Pinterest. Well, I have one from the class, but I'll have to add it up there for you guys because, see, the thing about that is when me and my pod member delegated the things, we made roles and stuff. I did certain parts and she did certain parts of social media, and I didn't do the Pinterest. So I'll have to look at that myself and make my own and kind of see how that works. But you only need one for the whole group.
Right.
And then you just add pictures of it relating to your theme.
So can we use just the same pictures and the same stuff on every single social media? Twitter, Facebook, Weebly, Pinterest.
Well, Facebook and Pinterest, you can pretty much use some of the same pictures and stuff, but Twitter is more like, it's not really as much about pictures. I think you might be able to use pictures up there. I'm not sure because I didn't make the Twitter either. So
Okay.
Twitter
will let you do it. Yeah, you can do a picture and you can do a short little video on there. But yeah,
if you want to add your pictures on the Twitter, then you can do that too.
Is it what? So we create the page, but what are we just making up? Like a week's worth of what we did in class? Like I don't really get what we're supposed to be putting on it. I guess that's where I'm lost. Like I can create the page, but then I like from there I'm like, okay, well I can't actually put pictures of my actual class. So I just get one.
Okay, let me go to my Facebook and show you an example of what you are supposed to be doing. Let's see. Oh no, wait, is it recording? Yes, it is recording. Awesome. I thought I didn't record this whole session at first. I was like, oh no. Okay, around the world. Here we go. Please click. Oh my goodness. Why is this happening? Okay, here we go. Come on. Oh. Okay, so this is my page if it will load correctly. So some of the things we did little updates and things. So we added a little blog in from WordPress. So our theme was around the world. Okay, so one of the things that in the lectures for this week Dr. Stone has talked about is learning styles. And so when she says learning styles, she's talking about some children learn visually, some learn through they learn auditory, some learn kinesthetically, which means through like movement, hands-on. Some people learn through music. So there's a whole bunch of different types of learning styles that you will need to accommodate in a classroom. And so you can see how we've done that on my Facebook. So let's see, what's a good one that we did? I know there's one in here that there was a music video. So the country that we focused on was China. And so we were trying to find all things about China. And the little music video I found was a cover of Ed Sheeran's song "Shape of You," but without the words, and they used Chinese instruments. So to teach them about like the culture and the instruments, I used that video to help appeal to those who learn through music. And so that's just one example. And then we have little, like, we created like a pretend project and stuff and asked parents
older students. So you're assuming your older students would go on, whereas kindergarten, it would mainly be the parents.
Well, yeah, it's for parents too. Parents and students. Because that's what I was about to say was we also added things for parents to look at too. And so one of the things we did an event. So an event that they could learn about was the Chinese New Year. So that's kind of stuff that you can do. And also we had something that allows them to find, there was BBC languages, and it allows you to learn a little bit of Chinese, like basic Chinese. That was one thing that we did. And so we would make little projects and split it into pretend groups and stuff, you know. So it's kind of similar to what you will be doing.
So we have to wait to see the lecture, or can we just go ahead and like, because did you see the stuff that I put on Shutterfly?
Let me look at it now. What are you talking about? Why does it keep signing me out? Okay. Let me go in there and look.
I know we had to add so many pictures, video, an app.
Okay, which lecture is that in?
It's in Shutterfly.
Are you, I think I know what you're talking about under recent activity. Are you talking about the video that you shared?
Yeah, it would be under pictures, videos, tabs. And Shutterfly. And then, Lauren, did you see the thing that she had about vocabulary? It was on those lectures a while back about what was supposed to go in these right here.
When you were talking about the things that Dr. Stone expected you to have, you know, like an app and a video and stuff like that, which lecture did that come from?
The lecture 3.
And was that the week before last week?
Or for week 2?
It would have been the last actual week.
Okay, I'll look at that and then let you know more. I'll add another announcement later. Because I wasn't able to look at that because I didn't have internet because of the storm, which a lot of you were in the same place with that, unfortunately.
Right.
But I lost internet and power throughout that, so yeah. So do you guys have any more questions about Weebly or anything?
I'm feeling all right about Weebly, and I'm understanding that we're sort of building as we go here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we can go ahead and go to Quizlet now, and then I'll show you guys how to sign up and how to use it. Okay, so are you guys on Quizlet now?
Yes, I'm up there.
Okay. Well, go ahead and click sign up. It's in the top right corner. And do your birthday and make up a username and use your school email. That way, if you want to go back and make a professional one later, you can do that with your personal email or whichever one you want to do. If you have like a school email, if you're working for a school already, you can use that.
We don't sign up with Face. We don't have to sign up with Facebook.
You don't. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would just do it the regular way. So I'm just going to put in something random.
I'm giggling. I can hear somebody's dog.
My
back
dog. Yes, Delilah's driving me crazy. She wants my attention. And I'm like, stop, I can't pay attention to you.
there. I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you guys already gotten your username and password?
I'm gonna work on that. Delilah's driving me crazy. All right, so with username, we just make up username and use
Yeah,
our
just make sure that you remember it though.
and use the email, our school email. Oh man, my username keeps getting taken. So frustrating. How can my own name be taken? That's really frustrating.
I would just put your initials and a number or something.
Gives me suggestions, so I guess I'll have to use the suggestion.
All right, just let me know when both of you guys are ready.
Do we click I am a teacher?
For some reason it's not taking me to that screen that you're at.
It's underneath the password when I have to sign on.
I left mine unchecked.
It's a little box. I don't know if you check it or not.
Okay, yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
And then it should say add superpowers to your account, and
Yes.
then it says or continue to free Quizlet. You're gonna click that because we're not paying for anything. So it should show you the home page for your profile, and over here on the left side it'll say your study sets. So whenever you make a set, that's where it's going to show up, and you can look at it there. And right here under latest activity it says create a study set. Well, you can do that, and so you'll click that and then create a study set again, and then I'm just going to make up a random one. It's not even going to be anything like real. I'm just going to make something up and show you guys how it works. So right off the start, you put in your term. Well, sorry, my internet connection is not wonderful here. So before you can ever create your set, you have to make sure that under the first term, you choose your language, and under the first definition, you choose the language to be English. You can change it throughout. So say you have Hispanic students in your class or something and you want to make it easier for them, you could change it to Spanish, or they could change it to Spanish. They could look at it and change it to Spanish. And you have to have at least 2 terms for a set to be good. So if you start on your sets and you don't want to finish it right at that moment, you have to have at least 2 sets, and you have to make sure the language is English underneath the term and the definition of the first one. So this is what my random one looks like, if you can see my screen. And then since I have two, and I've already done the language underneath term and definition, I'm going to go ahead and click create. And then it'll say bees, and then it just has the two random cards. And it also gives you your link. Whenever you click create, take your link and put it on your Shutterfly page. And just say your name and Quizlet, you know, so I know whose is whose.
So these are all individual too.
Yeah. But you're all going to use the same words, though.
So is this where the vocabulary is supposed to come in?
Yeah. Your vocabulary, you're going to use that for Quizlet and for Jeopardy. I haven't got the template for Jeopardy yet, so I can't show you how to use that because I don't have it. And she hasn't given either you or me access to it. And so once I get access to that, I will show you guys how to do that too. If she sends me the template this week, I'll just make a video for you guys. But don't worry if you have questions later, if you don't understand anything. Because from now on, now that I've separated the resources that I put up there from everything that you put up there, I can put all your Zoom sessions up there. It might take a little while. I can't immediately put it up there because at first I have to put it into YouTube, and then I have to take the link, and sometimes it takes a long time to download into YouTube, and I'll put the link into Shutterfly. So it'll probably be a day or two before I get the videos in once I've made them. But they'll be there at some point to where you can look at it and use it as a reference for how you should do things. But once you click create a set, create your set that you've put at least 2 terms into, you have your link. Go ahead and put that into Shutterfly under the home page, under useful links where you normally put your projects at. And then it gives you lots of options up here. It gives you flashcard mode, which you can just look at flashcards so that you can remember it, which is one of the features that will be good for students. And then it has this learn mode. I haven't really tested that one out yet. And then it has write. They can practice writing it or something. And then it has spell, and it has a test. You can test them on it. And there's also a matching game. I'm not sure what gravity is, but you can check that out if you want to. And at some point, I think you're going to have to share this with Dr. Stone. I'm not sure. I know she'll probably ask for the link in a Word document, but I think there's another way you have to share it with her. But she hasn't told me about that yet. So if she doesn't tell you how to do that, and if she doesn't tell me to tell you guys to do that, don't worry about the other way. And you can also add or remove terms down here. Right here it shows your flashcards because you're on flashcard mode, and you have your term right here, and you can flip it to your definition. So that's just a random card set that I made. And also, you can use the search bar. So if you search a term, so I don't know, and you can use it for yourself, not just for students too. You can search things. So if you have a sociology class or something, say you're taking sociology for whatever reason, you can search sociology, and then a whole bunch of different sets will come up for that subject. So it's very useful. A lot of people like to use Quizlet. But do you guys understand how it works and how to make a set and everything?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to watch your video because I still can't see it.
Okay, yeah. But you can edit it, you can share it. You could probably share it to your Facebook page if you wanted to. I bet it'll let you do that. You can add it to a folder.
Once you've created it, you mean?
Yeah. But that would be a good thing to put into your Facebook page. So if you wanted to share it to your Facebook page, or let's see, what else could you share it to? You could probably put it on Shutterfly. I'm not sure. It just depends on what it allows you to do. If not, you can, well, you're going to have to share it to Shutterfly anyway. So never mind. You have to put your link in there. But
we put on our Weebly.
Do what?
we add it to our Weebly?
At some point you will, because with the buttons, I'm not sure when you will use the buttons yet, because you don't have to use your buttons for Facebook or Pinterest or Twitter. And the reason for that is you can use the logo. You can Google search the logo, copy it, and then paste it to the page, and then link your Facebook to the logo instead of using a random button that's really plain. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But there might be points later that, like, let's see. You might have to do it for Jeopardy. I'm not sure. But if there comes a point when you need to use the buttons instead of a logo, I'll let you know that, and I'll let you know where to put it. Because you guys, the thing is, I'm kind of I'm in the same position as you guys for the most part, because the class, the way you're taking the class is not the same as the way I took it. You know what I mean? So there's changes here and there, and I have to make changes whenever needed. So
especially since we lost 2 weeks.
Know everything that you have to do. It's kind of, I'm learning as I go as well. But yeah, I will make sure that I cover all the things that you guys have asked me about. Do you guys have any more questions before we end the session?
I think I'm pretty
So
clear.
what should we be, so beside the lectures, what else are we supposed to be working on? Like what else can we be doing?
Okay, so the lecture you told me about that had the list of things that you need to be putting in, I think it's what you need to be putting into Facebook specifically, right?
And Shutterfly, yeah.
I would go ahead and do that. Make sure it applies to your theme. Just write down whatever she's asked you to put up there on Facebook and Shutterfly, and then just go through the list and do that. You know, but make sure it applies to your theme, and you know, it applies to different learning styles and whatnot, because whenever possible, you want to accommodate as many learning styles as possible, because that means you're not leaving people behind. You know what I mean? Because everybody has their own way of learning, and that's why she's emphasizing this and asking you to put different things like an app, and maybe she might ask you to put a blog or a video or something like that. That's why she asks you to put all kinds of different things, a variety, so that you're accommodating all the different learning styles that you might encounter in a classroom setting. Does that make sense?
Yes, no, I mean, I understand that. Like for the Facebook, it says provide parents with a list of vocabulary for the unit. Well, that would come in with the Quizlet then.
Yeah, you could share Quizlet onto your Facebook, and
right.
Then would add
that would suffice that. Okay, yeah. All right. And it has the first SLO, the learning objective for the unit. Each will be added as you complete the assignments in the course. But I don't know what that is. Do you know, Lauren, what that is?
Where are you getting that from?
It's from lecture 3.
She should have explained to you what a student learning objective is, and then you will create your own based off of your theme and based off of the technology you're using.
Okay, so we create our, okay, that's what I need to know.
And also, if you're still not sure what a SLO is, well,
that was in the lecture.
You can look at the lecture. I can try to find other resources that help explain it better if you're just not understanding how she's explaining it, or you can look it up and find examples. Just do whatever you got to do to make sure that you understand it, because you're going to use that, you know.
It was unclear as to whether she was providing these, or that's what was unclear. I mean,
yeah, you're going to create your SLOs.
But it wasn't clarified, like what there's just not a lot of clarity. There's a lot of vagueness of when and where these are to be provided.
Yeah. But
I guess that's
so
where
what's
I'm
happening
kinda
is
stuck.
you guys create your SLOs for each thing you do. So you'll have one for Facebook, you'll have one for Pinterest, you'll have one for Twitter, you'll have one for Shutterfly, Weebly, Jeopardy. You'll be doing bingo, I think, next week. But
Okay.
as of now, I don't have access to that or Jeopardy, so I can't work with you on that until I get access to it. But really, that's all. Just, something I did, I just looked up examples of SLOs to kind of get familiar with the concept and how one should look. And I'll look at the lecture, and if she hasn't given you any examples, I'll make some or find some, just so that you'll have something to look at to kind of, because I know that whenever I look at an example of something that I need to be doing, it helps me understand it better. And then I could kind of form it based off of what I've seen,
Right. I guess I don't know I do not understand what she is looking for. I mean, I understand what learning objectives and writing lesson plans, that, that nature, but I don't understand what she is looking for.
Yeah. She wants, I don't know if she's giving you a number of learning objectives per project you do, like for Facebook, Quizlet, and all that. But for now, just do one for each. But I would just write them down somewhere or do a Word document that has your SLOs for each one as you go. And that way you can change them as needed. And if you want to, that can be something that you can add a file or something, or you can just write down your student learning objectives and then put them in Shutterfly. Just write a message and say, these are my student learning objectives, kind of look over them and tell me if there's something I could do better or something, and then I'll help you with that.
Okay, so the three of us should just get together and decide what our SLOs are.
Yeah.
For each social media site.
Yeah. You'll do it for Shutterfly, Weebly, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. What was the other one? You're doing Quizlet. You'll do one for Quizlet too. So you'll do one for everything that you do, basically.
And it has to tie back to the Blooms or to a Common Core standard, something that you would use in reality.
Yeah. It'll tie back to Bloom's taxonomy.
Okay. So that's where we have to tie it to. Okay.
All right. So do you guys have any more questions?
Not right now. I think it'll keep getting clearer as we go on.
All right. Well, okay. So is everybody doing okay after the hurricane? I know that was pretty rough on a lot of people.
I'm good.
Well, I lived far enough away that I was good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
We were a little out of routine for about a week,
Yeah.
maybe a little longer, but it's all good now. So
awesome. Well, I'm glad. I hope that you guys have not had too much damage or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pictures were unbelievable. Just wow.
Well, I'm glad you guys are
awful.
okay and that everything is going good now. Everything's kind of as back to normal as it's going to get at this point.
How was the campus?
I left. I went back home. Luckily, I live in the foothills, so it's closer to the mountains. So it wasn't too bad, but because of where I live, there's not good internet. So I lost internet immediately as soon as it started raining. But,
oh, wow.
And then we lost power, but that was it. Everything was good other than that. But, I'm glad you guys are okay, and I hope you guys have a good evening.
Thank you very
And
much.
I'll let you go.
All right, thanks.
Thank you,
All right.
Taylor.
See ya.
All right.